Hey folks, I'm so excited for my guest today. It's Jordan Harris, the Student Involvement Coordinator. We talked about everything from her role here at CSI to her hobbies, which are really, really cool. Stay tuned for a great episode. Episode 2.
All right. So, episode 2 of the podcast, CSI the podcast. I'm here with my very good friend, Miss Harris, baby. Jordan Harris. Hey, Jordan.
Hi, Rod. How are you?
Good, good. How has this quarantine been treating you?
Well, I am a homebody, so I appreciate being home, but I also like having choices. And, you know, the fact that I can't go outside and be outside and be free is not that fun. So I'm
Come on,
making the
freedom.
best.
Come
I
on, freedom.
know. Like,
Okay, so before we kind of jump in with questions, I don't think everyone knows you. If they do know you, it's time for you to reintroduce yourself to the world. Just tell us your role, your responsibilities, groups you work with, and so forth.
yeah, definitely. So, hi, podcast listeners. My name is Jordan Harris. I use she, her, hers pronouns. So in CSI, I am the coordinator for student involvement in the office. So under my direct purview is a few different things. So I directly advise the AU Club Council, which all of my student org should know. That's their governance board. I also work with the new club registration process. So if you're a student trying to start a new club on campus and get recognized, you usually have to see my face and talk to me. And then I also am kind of a general advisor for all of our recognized student clubs under AUCC. So whatever you all need or questions you have, anything club related, um, between myself and Kevin Haney, we are the folks that you usually talk to. So
Okay, so you're a coordinator of student involvement. Um, emails just pop up no matter what you do.
they sure do.
Um, So student affairs is a weird thing. A lot of people don't know that it's a profession.
Yeah,
So how did you get involved in student affairs? Like take us through that journey. How did you get here as the coordinator for student involvement at American University?
definitely. It is an interesting journey, and it's not. It's traditional in a sense, but it's not straight and narrow. So um, Um, going into college, I went to James Madison University in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Go Dukes! I'm a double Duke, even though I'm at American now. But I went
What is
there.
the wait, what is a duke?
It's our mascot, the
But
Duke
what is it?
dog.
Is it like a dog or something?
Yeah, it's a bulldog.
Oh, got it. Go
An, Amer-
Dukes.
an
Whoa, whoa,
American.
whoa.
No, we don't do that. We do. Uh, oh, what do we do? What do we do now? I can't even remember. Oh my
Come on,
god.
double Duke.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we do. JMU Dukes. That's what we do. Um, but so I went to JMU all 4 years, and like Rod was just saying, student affairs. I had no idea what it was. Didn't even know it was a thing. I just knew it was people working in the offices. Like there would be people in the multicultural office. There'll be people in the student activities office, financial aid and stuff like that. And I just like, okay, so they work in higher ed, but I didn't really know it was a subcategory different from like faculty and things like that. And so joining there, I didn't get involved straight off the bat. So my freshman year, I joined some clubs, but I wasn't really active in getting involved. I just wanted to live my life and meet some friends and try to be a college student. And then eventually, I found some orientation people, and the Jordan back then was very different from the Jordan now. So I was very introverted, very shy, very quiet. And I wanted to do something different. I was just like, I'm bored, like I'm doing classes, I'm doing well in my classes, but I want to do something different. And I remember the orientation folks from when I did it before I became a first year there. And I was just like, let me try it out. Let me see what happens. Let me put an application. Hadn't talked to any orientation leaders, hadn't talked to any staff in the orientation office. I was just like, this is cool. is also going to pay me, and I can be in Harrisonburg for the summer. I don't have to be home. I love it. So
Nice.
yeah, that was my thought process. Didn't think much of it from that. And so I applied, didn't think I was going to get anything back. And then they told me that, hey, like, we're going to pick you for doing the first round of interviews. I was like, all right,
Okay.
let's see what happens. So did the interviews, and I was 100% myself, my shy, introverted self amongst all these extroverted, quirky, charismatic people. And I was like, it's no way they're going to pick me. Like, amongst all these people would be an organization. So I made it through the first review, and then I got to the second, which was the face-to-face with the actual orientation staff. And they were just asking me things about my experience being at JMU, especially being a Black woman at JMU, just getting to know me better on a deeper level. And I was just like, that was cool. I hope I did well in the interview. Like, we'll see what happens, right? And then a few weeks later, they were like, yeah, you're going to be an orientation leader for, I don't remember what year it was. Let's not say that because, my age. But
Stop it. You're like 12. Okay.
hey. They were like, yeah, you got it. And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, you got it. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I did that that summer, made a lot of friends, got to help the incoming first year students, got to connect with especially some other people of color on campus, which is cool for them to see my face as one of the first student leaders on campus and get to connect with them. And then I was like, oh, I like, this helping people thing. But my major in college was actually media arts and design, which is basically advertising and marketing.
Come
I
on.
know, I know, right? Because, well, forever I wanted to be like the female Ryan Seacrest. Don't ask me why. It was just in my childish mind. I wanted to be hosting American Idol and have my own radio show and be a TV producer and
You
stuff.
still can. You still can. I believe that.
I mean, I can, but I don't want to go to Hollywood because it's too far. It's too far.
Hey, where's home?
Home is Chesapeake, Virginia. So I am a 757 girl. 75, what up? So right by the beach, 20 minutes away. Love my hometown. I love Virginia. I know some people don't like Virginia, but I love Virginia.
Wait, side note. Have you heard this? There's a commercial on TV this summer. It was like, Virginia, we're open. Virginia, we're open.
They should have got me to sing that.
It was terrible. But anyway, keep going.
I have not heard that, but like, I guess, I don't know, because our governor, he was like, shut stuff down.
He shut it down.
He shut it down. He did. What was that? So orientation, had a good time, enjoyed helping folks. Still was pursuing my major because I got good grades in it. I enjoyed the work. I enjoyed learning the work, and it came sort of easy to me. But the part that didn't come easy to me was like actually like doing the campaigns. Like, I like the behind the scenes and like talking with other people, but I didn't enjoy the politics of doing the campaigns and in the manipulativeness and like the money focusedness of the profession. I was just like, what? But I have my degree in it. I'm skipping around things. Oh my gosh, that was like graduate.
That's fine.
But okay, so I did orientation, and then I got involved with a few more clubs. And then I was also part of a scholarship program for all 4 years. So that was pretty much my involvement. And then my senior year, I joined the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So got some Greek life experience, but still never really thought of student affairs. Like, I liked it. I enjoyed the people that I made connections with and the professionals I made connections with, but I still thought I was going to do advertising, and that was kind of my path. And I was like, I have my degree in it. That's what I should be doing. So moved on to graduating, and then I didn't get a job straight out of college. I went back home and I worked at my old job from high school, which was at a movie theater, which I loved. Never knocking that. If you all need to go back, if you graduate and need to go back to your old high school job, do it. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I did that. I did that too.
Nothing is
For
wrong
like
with that.
6 months before I went to grad school, I did Starbucks.
Nothing is. Oh, see, that's why you can make all those good drinks.
Ooh, I
You didn't
love
tell
some
me
good
that
coffee.
you worked at Starbucks.
Yeah, I'm a coffee fanatic. I love coffee. You know that.
So you know what? Now we need to talk for real. So worked at my old high school job, and then by the time I'd figured out that advertising wasn't for me, I was like, I wasn't applying for stuff. I wasn't pursuing it. I just didn't feel passionate about it at all. So I really took some time to think about, well, what did I enjoy when I was in college? Like what made me feel like I was warm inside or whole? And I was just like, I enjoyed actually working with like students and helping people and helping them find their path, making them feel comfortable um, in their community or in their situation. I really enjoyed that, and I just thought it was just a part of, who I am. I didn't really think it's a profession, but I was like, I really enjoy it. And then my brother has a friend who is a really good friend of the family, and he's also in student affairs. And he did the program that I ended up doing at JMU for college student personnel administration. And so I called him up and was like, hey, I'm kind of thinking about applying for this program at JMU. Like, do you think I would be a good fit for a student affairs professional? Like, what do you think? And he was like, yeah, go for it. Like, if you really find meaning in it and you really think you want to do it, why not? You would be great at it. So I was like, all right.
Encouragement. Come on.
It was encouragement, especially coming from someone in the field, even though like we are like close like family, but it was still like someone's in the field and telling me that I can do it. It was like a boost for me. So while I was still at home for that year, I started applying for different graduate programs for higher education. And then I really didn't want to go back to JMU because, my reasoning was because I wanted to learn under the folks who made my experience so amazing. Because I knew in the program that I would be working with some of those same people, but not as a student, more so as a peer, colleague, something like that. And so I was like, I hope I get into JMU. And I did.
Nice.
Yep, and I got into JMU. And it was amazing. Not every part of grad school is a struggle. So not every part is amazing at all. At all. Grad school is the absolute struggle. But I really did find passion in what I was doing and what I was learning and the people that I was around. So I did that. And then I had trouble figuring out what functional area I wanted to do specifically. I was just like, I have no idea. I was like, I don't know. I just want to help.
It's kind of your functional area. Picking your functional area is like Grey's Anatomy. Where they're trying to pick their specialties. That's what I felt like. I was like, wait, what's my specialty? I don't know what to do.
Exactly. Like I like everything. Like, do I have to pick? And they were like, yes. For entry level, yes, you have to pick. Mm-hmm. So then my second year, I ended up doing student activities, and it wasn't the programming side. It was more so the advising side. And I was just like, this is great. Like I could do fun stuff. I mean, it's some long hours, some events, but like they're fun. I get to hang out and be with the students and learn, and we were talking, and it was just different from other free food. Yes, it was just different from some of the other functional areas where you had to wear a suit and tie every day or wear like heels or dressed up and more be like really, really, really professional. It was different, and I was just like, I like this atmosphere and I like this vibe. I was like, maybe I'll pursue that. So I did, and then I found a position posted for American U, and I was like, ooh, DC, I want to be near DC. And here I am. I got it.
Look at you. Oh, you're in Chocolate City. Chocolate City.
Well, I'm not really in Chocolate City because right now I'm in Virginia, but
close enough. Close
enough. I'm adjacent to it. Yeah.
All right. So you talked about a lot of things that you're passionate about, like helping people and things like that. So how does that translate over to your current role, working with a UCC?
Definitely. I think in my role right now, since so many clubs are under AUCC, I get to talk to so many different students. So yes, I directly work with our 7 AUCC team members, and I get to know them very well, but also I get to have at least some sort of communication or touch with all of the other 150 student organizations that are under AUCC as well. And so it's really cool to see different types of folks on campus and to feel their different needs and to know that they feel comfortable coming to me with a concern or an issue. Or I think one of the things that I was surprised about when I started feeling comfortable in the position, but it bring me so much joy, is that once you start building a connection with those 5 or 6 students who come to you all the time with stuff, like you really do build a deep connection with them. And like it comes like naturally. It's not something that you have to force. It's not something that you're just doing because this is your job and you're just working. You really do want to help these people as people. And when they do succeed, it's like amazing. It's like, oh my God, you did it. And even when they fail, it's like, all right, well, how can we learn from this? And how can we get better? So I think that's one of the things I love about working at AUCC is I have so much reach on so many different people. And it's so cool.
I like it. I admire you because you're really good with your students. Like you're really good. Like I wish I could be as a good
Thank
as
you.
advisor as you are.
Oh, you
I know
are though.
I'm good, but you're like better. Those students love coming to your office and chit chatting with you, and they love being around you. And you guys have a great time in the AUCC office. I come in there, you guys are like laughing,
We do.
eating snacks. I
We
steal
do.
snacks, and then they like get paid for that. I'm like, whoa,
Exactly.
whoa,
You can't
Tiger.
come into the office and steal stuff. Like you
Mm-mm.
haven't become one of us yet. Until you become one, then you can steal stuff.
I feel like I earn my respect. I'll come back.
Yeah, you gotta earn it.
So you get to work with Calvin, and a lot of people know Calvin really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that?
Calvin is unlike any person that I've ever met. And that's such an amazing thing. Especially as him being my first big boss, like in the professional world, since this is my first professional job outside of grad school, to have someone like him as my direct supervisor is honestly exceptional because he is his own person. Um, but he is so willing to see me thrive and provide the support necessary to help me advance in my career, in my personal life, in my spiritual journey, everything. And that's so cool because I don't think a lot of people can say that about a supervisor. Like a lot of times it's just work, 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 and you're not actually caring about the human being. One thing about Calvin is he cares about you as a person first. The work is still going to get done, but how are you as a person? What's new and good in your life? He asked me that an hour ago. What's new and good in your life? You know? And then he also has such a unique outlook on life that I've never experienced out of anyone. And so half the time I'm like, what are you saying? And that's because honestly, it's because I think I'm not on his intellectual level yet.
Fair, yep.
Because the way he just thinks about the world and people and psychology and life and it's honestly like mind blowing. And I don't think it's not many people out there who can say they're like Calvin.
No, Calvin is one of a kind.
One of a kind. And like those are the people you don't forget in life. Like those are people like that is a memorable. I would never forget Calvin ever in my life. I could be 6 years old with dementia and I'd be like, I remember that Calvin Haney.
He's gonna love hearing this. He's gonna love it. He's like,
it's because it honestly is. It's you know, it's crazy. And before I started, I was like, because his picture. So when I did my research for the position, of course, you know, you look at the staff, you look at the website, you do all your research, so you're prepared for the interview. In his picture on the AU website, he has like this clean cut fade, like a nice, like a nice dress shirt on. I'm like, oh, okay, like he is like here to work. Let's do it. And then I meet him, and he has like these locks. And he had a beard, and he's like, well, let's just go get coffee. And then he paid for my coffee, and I was like, ooh, he's not like I thought he was. You know, you can't assume things about people.
You can't.
You cannot assume things. So I was like, what? This is cool.
You're like, who is this hippie talking to me right now?
Yeah. And then, you know, he has a little dad shoes he be wearing in the summertime. And it just really is cool. It's really cool. And over the past year and a few months I've been here, we've built a great bond. And I'm so grateful for it. Even when I go on from this position and go into another one, like I'm never gonna forget Calvin, like I said.
No, it will. Well, I'm glad you mentioned this is your first big person job after grad school, because I know there's a lot of seniors out there about to graduate. There's a lot of grad students there we work with and grad students who are hopefully listening to this podcast. What are things that surprised you when you first started your career? Like you were like, I wasn't expecting this. It's good. Or maybe I wasn't expecting this and it's bad.
Yeah. I think I touched on one of them which is the good thing that I didn't realize I would build bonds with students so quickly. Because coming in, especially me just coming from being a student, I know how territorial I was around when I was around my other students, and a new staff professional came in. I was like, well, who was that? They gonna change it up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was skeptical. So I was like, one of my first goals is just to build relationships with the students so that they know who I am and they trust me. And it actually happened much faster than I expected. Like, much faster. I was expecting at least the whole first semester was going to be like, okay, getting to know each other, going to have some awkward moments, and then we're eventually going to know each other. But it was like the first month. And they were like, hey, Jordan, and like, how are you? And how's your day? And sitting in my office and talking to me. And I was like, oh, you like me? You trust
Stop
me?
it.
You trust
Stop
me
it.
to have conversations? So I think that was one of the things that was such a good surprise. I didn't expect to come out of at least student affairs life. I didn't expect that. Other things I think I didn't expect. Um, I think a negative thing I didn't expect coming out was, which I think I did kind of expect, but when it hits you, you're just like, oh, well, it kind of hit me, is the whole imposter syndrome and feeling like, you just graduated with this degree, you have some assistantship experience, but now you're around all these like grown people who have been doing this for years and they know what they're doing, and you're like, well, do I know what I really know? Like, should I really be here? Like, is it time? Should I, is this really where I need to be at right now? And that, it didn't happen every day for me, but it would happen at certain moments where something would happen. I'd be like, I don't know how to handle that. I've never been through that experience. And then that's when you start doing the questioning, like, do I really know what I know? Like, am I tripping? Like, you just kind of do that little weird thing in your brain where you just ask all these questions and you start to doubt yourself. But I think the good thing again about being under Calvin is that we had that open dialogue, the expectation for the open dialogue set early. So when I was having those feelings and having those doubts, he would be like, okay, let's talk through them. Like, well, why do you feel like that? And he would try to get to the root of the problem rather than just saying like, oh, well, you didn't do it right, and next time you'll learn better. Like, he would actually like talk it through with me. And I think that's really beneficial when you're doing your job search and when you're trying to find that first spot, making sure that you do have people who are going to be supportive to you. Because if you don't have that support, then if I didn't have that support, who knows if I'll still be there right now. I might have been looking for another job, might be jobless with the pandemic that just happened or is still going on. You never know. So I think that's something that a lot of people expect, but when it hits, it's like, oh, it's like really real, you know?
Yeah. I mean, when you were talking, I thought about mentorship and how important mentorship is, especially when you're looking for a first job and finding someone that you can rely on, even if that's not someone you're going to work with in the future, but someone you worked with in the past or someone you look up to at church or in the community, but finding someone that is really going to like tell you straight up, like, this is what things you need to work on, give you some good feedback, or and then praise you at the same time. Like, I had a lot of mentors that I feel like didn't give me a lot of feedback to challenge me, but they praised me, which for me is good because I like a little, but yeah, let's talk about mentorship a little bit. What's your, would you define mentorship? What is the mentorship to you?
Ooh, difficult question. I think mentorship is, I think first it's a two-way street. So I think that you have a mentor and a mentee relationship, but you both are working to support each other, protect each other, uplift each other, and challenge each other all at the same time, which is a lot all wrapped up in one. But I think those relationships that have all of those elements to it produce the most beneficial relationship for both parties. So it can't be just like your mentor is always lifting up your mentee. And then when your mentor is going through something, like, your mentee can't say anything. Like, it's a two-way street between both parties, so that sometimes the mentor may be the mentee and sometimes it's the other way around, depending on what's going on. So I think it has to have all those components to be a strong relationship, and really be beneficial and long lasting as well. Because I know in college, what I used to see a lot of was like the younger ladies would like the first year students or the sophomores, they would talk to some of the juniors or the seniors, and then they would be like, "Well, that's my mentor." I'm like, "You know her? Did you ask her?
You fill out that
like,
application?
yeah, like, did y'all just hang out one time? Like, did you meet each other at a party? Like, is that your mentor for real?"
Yeah.
But I think when those things do have that really beneficial relationship, and you have both parties working towards it, so if only one person is putting in the work, that's not a mentor, a good or strong mentor relationship. When both parties, they feel natural around each other, they have those components. I think it produces a really strong relationship.
Okay. We're gonna shift gears just a little bit because I'm running out of time. But I want to talk about not that much time. We have time left, but
Okay.
hobbies and interests. Like I know you because you come in all laced up, you look good all the time. I'm like, oh Jordan, I gotta step up my game out of my take out these sweats. Even in Zoom, you're like coming in with your coffee, you look all fall.
Oh, not today though.
That's why this is a podcast,
Yes.
not a video cast.
Yes.
Is that a thing, a video cast?
I guess. I mean, it's just on video.
Yeah, that's a video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, so I know that you do nails, you do your own hair. You're very talented.
Thank you.
So talk about your hobbies and interests. Are those just your hobbies and interests, or are those things you just do because you in the pandemic and you can't leave the house?
Well, yes, that. But also how I used to always explain it, which is still the truth. Especially in college, I am very uh cheap. Some would say frugal. I say cheap. I like to save my money. I don't like to spend my
Speak
money.
truth to power.
Yeah, I don't like to spend my money on things that, not that I don't think they're worth spending, but like I would rather buy, I don't know, 3 pairs of shoes than get my nail done once for the same amount of money. So, and I'm also very DIY inclined, and I learned skills very easily. And YouTube's around now, so other people do it, and I can mimic it, and I can research it and study it. So it's always been a hobby of mine, doing beauty treatments and doing my hair. I also with my hair, I get bored very, very quickly. So that's another reason why I don't want to pay someone $300 when I want to take it out in 2 weeks. So I learned how to do my own hair, and I've been doing my own hair since I was about, I don't know, like 10, 9, 8.
Really?
Yeah, I was very, very young, very, very young.
I
And
used to
then,
do my niece's hair, and I used to be so bad at it. They used to have like hair like this. I'm like, now go outside and play.
see, I had to stay away from you. Like, do not touch me. But no, I learned how to do it, and then like in high school, I started getting really creative, and that's before like the whole. Well, if you're a part of like Black culture, then you know about these things. Like before the wigs and the weaves and the half wigs and stuff.
Half
I used to-
wig.
yes, you didn't know it was a half wig.
We'll come back to that. Okay. keep going.
So I used to make my own clip-in hair extensions because that's when I used to wear my hair straight all the time. And I wanted in high school, you want to be, you want to look cute, you want to look good. So I used to make my own clip-in hair extensions, and nails is actually something fairly recent. I tried it years ago, but I was terrible at it, and there were not many YouTube videos on it, so I didn't really know how to do it. But now I've gotten much better, and people have always asked me to do these things on other folks, or like, why aren't you like charging or selling? Transparency point. I'm afraid.
Come on.
I'm afraid. I have a phobia, especially with hair. I have a phobia that if I do someone's hair once, they're not gonna have no edges, and then they are gonna get mad at me, and I don't have time.
That's why you have to practice. Find people that you can practice on.
I know. I keep saying eventually one day I'm gonna get over the phobia, but for now it's just me. And also with me, like I don't care if I make mistakes. It's like myself. So, but on others, I want it to be perfect, especially if you're paying me.
We're trying to build your side hustle because everyone in the office has a side hustle. Everyone out here doing something on the side that fills their little passion bubble and fills their pocketbook.
I know, but I can't do it right now because it's the pandemic, so I can't have nobody in my house.
Just wear a mask.
It's in the air.
Come on, Dr. Fauci. Come on, Dr. Fauci.
I'm just trying to be safe and protect my family and me.
Yo, below, yo, you remember when Dr. Fauci's phone went off and he was like, "Go get that." And
Yes, he was like, "Look, handle it, handle it."
I'm like, they what were they talking about? They were like,
I don't know.
"I know that, Tony," and I was like, "You do, Burwell? Who's calling you?"
I was just, yeah, it was so awkward for me because the whole time I was saying like, Fauci, put it on mute. Like, what if you say something? Like, mute yourself.
Right? They're like the president, and you're like, "Holy." Um.
Right.
Okay. Let's do the lightning round questions.
Let's go.
I love the lightning round questions. Okay, so folks who listened to podcast last time, I do 60 seconds of questions, and my guest has to answer them as quickly as they can. I think Ayana got to like 5, so let's see if you can beat her score.
See, now you're appealing to my competitive nature.
I know I want to get through these questions, but I
Okay.
also want you to talk more about them too. But I'm just torn. Okay, 60
Okay.
seconds starts now. Favorite color?
Green.
One thing you can't live without?
Blanket. A warm, fuzzy blanket.
Favorite actor or actress?
Uh, 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 he's on a show called Misfits. He plays Rudy. I can't think of his real name, but I know who he is.
Google
Next.
people, Rudy. What are you currently binging on the telly?
Sister, sister.
One thing you are afraid of?
Height. So I will cry like a baby.
Oh, I went climbing on a mountain. You should have joined me. It was fun. Different story. Favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving. I like gravy. I put gravy on everything on my plate. Some folks think it's nasty, but I think it's great.
Who's the better rapper of this generation, Kendrick or Drake?
Drake for his beats.
Okay. Favorite cartoon growing up?
Probably Powerpuff Girls.
Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah.
Okay, we out of time, but I gotta let you know that I've been watching Powerpuff Girls on HBO Max. I've been rewatching it, and I love it. I don't know
It's
why.
so good.
I'm like looking at it. I can't even cook at the same time because I'm like,
because it's actually a good show.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, kick those teeth out.
Yes.
All right.
I love Bubbles.
Of course you do. I'm a Blossom.
Oh, the pink one.
Was it pink or red? Pink. Okay.
We got to get that right because there's a difference between pink and red.
Okay, color police. Give us some benefits for student organizations before we go into our last question. What are some benefits that we provide to student organizations in our office?
Yeah, so benefits for student organizations. So I can break it down in a few different categories, I think. So first is programming support. So especially this is what AUCC comes in. So if you're trying to do any sort of event on campus, whether you're bringing a speaker, a performance, you just want to talk about a certain subject, whatever you're doing for your program to engage your members, always talk to AUCC about it. And that's whether you want to get funding or whether you don't want to get funding. They're really knowledgeable about best practices, especially in the virtual environment, about how to use Zoom correctly, how to get the most out of Zoom, how to make your programs more engaging, by adding things like Kahoots, and you can annotate on the actual Zoom and make it kind of interactive with your members. So definitely utilize AUCC and myself and Calvin and my graduate assistant Allison for your programming support in those aspects. Another thing is club development. So even though you all are recognized and you went through annual renewal and everything, you always want to make sure that your constitution is up to date, because as the years go and you've been recognized at AU for 10 years, the club that started 10 years ago and the club that is there now probably are different. And so you want to make sure that you aren't still using that same standard or base constitution that you use when you got recognized, because as people come, as trends change, as the culture changes, you may want to change your constitution. So if you need any support with that, about doing any type of amendments or looking at your bylaws, definitely reach out to CSI for that support. And then really, if you want some leadership development and growing your skills outside of just what you're doing in your club, whether you're an executive board member or just a general body member, definitely looking at some leadership opportunities that we offer in CSI. So right now that Calvin Haney is doing is the Leadership Ready series, which is also something that you can put on your resume because it is a badging program. But it is open right now if you all want to just learn more in depth about what leadership is and some of the components to it, rather than just saying, hey, I'm president, so I'm automatically a leader. Well, do you have those leadership skills? Like, have you researched it? Have you learned? Have you grown in how you want to be a leader, and really took some time to think about, like, what does leadership mean to you? So if you want to learn more about that, hit us up. We're here to help.
Nice. Okay. Ready for the last question?
I am.
What inspires you?
What inspires me? See, I thought a lot about this question, right? Because it's
know.
hard.
It is hard. That's why I give it to you guys ahead of time.
It's hard. But what I came up with in my brain was
And not your fingers.
not my fingers. In my brain was, I am honestly genuinely inspired by genuine kindness from others. And I say that because right now, in our current climate of our world and our news and our media, everything is negative, 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 negative. And when good things happen and people are genuinely kind to others and treat others as human beings, it brings me joy. And it could be simple things like back at JMU, one of our rule was you always hold the door open. You could be 50 feet away from me and I'm going to wait until you get close to me so I can hold the door open, which is just genuine kindness. But like little things that you don't think would make someone's day, or little things that you don't see as being a big deal. Like, I don't know, if someone drops something on the floor, you help them pick it up. Or I don't know, like when you're in Starbucks and someone pays for your drink ahead of you and they don't even know who the person is behind you. Like stuff like that really gives me hope in our world and hope in our humanity. And it makes me think that, I don't know, we're here for a reason and a purpose. And it just fills me with joy. And it makes my whole day better when I see something like that, or I do something well, or you just never know how your actions can make another person feel. And it really is inspiring, like that, we're here to help others in this world.
Oh, that just made me so happy.
I know, and that's my empathetic side, and I'm like, sometimes she just need to turn off because she be doing too much.
You guys don't know, we have a lot of different Jordan personalities.
Yes, sometimes she doing too much.
That was a question, but I had to skip it, but I want to come back. I want to invite you back so we can talk about your personalities.
Part two.
All right, Jordan, thank you for joining me. And this was fun.
Thank you, Rod. I'm holding you to part two because I want to be on part two because clearly I like to talk.
Okay, it might be a co-star role for you or something coming soon.
Turn it.
Rod and Jordan. All right. Bye.
Bye.